Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reactive Horsemanship. I'm Luke Brown, and today is Training Tip Tuesday. I'm excited to be with you here today. And the horse that I have right behind me is Pebbles. Pebbles is a 3-year-old quarter horse mare that came to me from Yuma, Arizona, and she's doing quite well. She is a more sensitive, reactive, athletic horse, and so she is requiring a little bit more groundwork than normal. And today, today is right in the middle of her second week, and she's going to be with me for a month. And hopefully we'll get to riding her, and she's gonna get much better. So I haven't ridden her yet, but she is coming along and doing quite well. Now, one of the issues she was struggling with this morning, as well as the mule that I was working with this morning, Wyatt, and that is sometimes once a horse figures something out, like they figure out how to yield their hindquarters, or she figures out how to yield her hindquarters, or she figures out how to side pass, then sometimes the new problem can occur, and that is her inability to stop. So she figures out how to side pass, so she's side passing away from me along the fence line, but she has a harder time stopping because she wants to just keep going. And that's the same concept when you get on a horse and the horse doesn't want to stand still. That's what I'm going to talk about right now for Training Tip Tuesday. And one of the things that I do to stop a horse when I'm driving her sideways, when I'm doing side passing along the fence, she's facing the fence. So here she would be facing the fence right here. And then I don't know if I can get her to side pass without a stick here. There she goes, just a little bit. Now she's not stepping. That was a good step. But I don't have the stick with me, and she just learned this in the last couple days. So she's not really moving along like she normally would with the stick. But when she is side passing, so she's facing the fence and she's side passing and doing a good job with it, then sometimes because she's more reactive, she wants to keep moving sideways. And so one of the things I do to stop her, I first say, whoa, and then I reach up with my stick and I'll just rub her on the withers area. Sometimes rub her on the butt, rub her on the back, wherever is most convenient, but I'm gonna reach my stick up. So instead of driving pressure like this, so I use driving pressure through the air and then eventually tap her with it if I have to put more pressure on her. But at first it's driving pressure through the air, and I'm gonna keep that driving pressure going, light pressure. Now I usually have a stick initially, and then eventually I get to a point where I'm just wiggling my finger or something to get her to move to side pass. But that pressure, that driving pressure stops, and then I reach up and rub her with the stick or rub her with my hand, and that should normally get her she learns how to stop. Sometimes a more sensitive horse like her will keep going, and so when I reach up to rub her to stop and she keeps going, I'm gonna wait for a while. I might wait half a circle, and especially initially I want to wait that out and let her just learn to stop when I'm rubbing her. But sometimes a horse will just keep moving. They just keep moving their feet, keep fidgeting. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to driving pressure again and ask her to yield her to side pass, continue to side pass, and drive her, let's say, for a half a circle again. And then I'm going to reach up and rub her and say whoa. And if she doesn't stop after a couple steps, I'm going to use driving pressure again, and then go for like half a circle, and then reach up and say whoa. And eventually what she'll figure out that there's a big difference in what I'm doing. One is driving pressure and one is whoa and rubbing. And once she figures out that the whoa and rubbing means to stop, then she'll start stopping a lot quicker. And as soon as I reach up to rub and I say whoa, she'll stop, and versus continuing to fade that way. And the same thing goes under saddle. If I sit on a horse and let's say I yield the horse's hindquarters, and then I take my leg off and I ask the horse to stop by taking the leg off, and my horse just keeps moving her hindquarters, if she keeps yielding her hindquarters and doesn't stop, she just keeps going in circle after circle after circle, even though I've taken the pressure off, taken my leg off, then what I'll do is I'll put my leg back on and drive her in and yield her hindquarters, maybe even a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more pressure, and get her moving, and then take my leg off and say, whoa, same thing here. I'm driving her on the ground, then I take my pressure off, rub her, and ask her to stop. And under saddle, I'm asking her to yield her hindquarters, and then I take my leg off and ask her to stop. And pretty soon she'll figure out that difference, that there's a vast difference between my driving pressure and my stopping pressure or my stopping cue, and she will figure that out. But you'll find, especially these more sensitive horses, they're going to want to keep moving their feet. Once they figured out what to do, the yield of hindquarters, yield the forequarters. The forequarters is that happens a lot too. It happened with her quite a bit. yield the hindquarters, yield the forequarters, and side pass on the ground and under saddle, sometimes a horse will just keep going even though you've given them the stop cue. So then give her a little bit of time to stop, and if she doesn't, she just keeps wanting to she keeps fidgeting with her feet, then drive her again, use that driving pressure, ask her to move for a little while, and then take it off and allow her to stop. And once you take the pressure off and allow her to stop, she starts realizing that's a good thing, and she'll want to stop, because most horses are lazy by nature and they do want to stand still if at all possible. So once they figure out those cues, they're going to come along much better, and they're going to give a better stop for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, be thankful, live with purpose, live with passion, and as always, stay safe in the saddle.